All right, you know what it is, man. I'm gonna begin this joint here. This one here is gonna be part two, of Lompoc and how drug trafficking is done in Lompoc. Part two. All right, so just sit back, enjoy the ride, and let me do what I do. All right, you know what it is. Unique Mecca audio, man. I'm riding. First of all, TGIF Friday. That's what this is. TGIF Friday. So I'm gonna tell you what a Friday was like in Lompoc after you get the pack. You know what I mean? Once you get the pack in Lompoc, I'm gonna tell you what it's like on Friday. Get up early in the morning. Of course you brush your teeth. You get your 64-ounce bottle of water because remember Lompoc is known for dirty water. So you get out your 64-ounce, got a thing of water, and you get your little bucket that you done brought, from the medical to pour your water in, and you brush your teeth, and you splash the water on your face over the sink, and but you can't use the water from the sink, so you gotta use the water from a bucket like you in a third world country. This how it was in Lompoc. Now Lompoc got them old cells. Let me describe Lompoc to you. I was gonna bring some pictures up, but I'm running a little late because my grandson graduated today. Round of applause to my grandson graduating. All right, calm down. Calm down, y'all. Calm down. My grandson graduated today. He's 5 years old. I miss my kids, graduation and all these little special occasions because, I was doing Life Plus 20 from Poison the Community and, just terrorizing things. And I'm not proud of none of that, but I get a chance to relive that all over again, which is what I'm doing with you guys. Now, Friday, get up, brush our teeth, we get ready, I go downstairs, when they open the door at 9 o'clock, it's, at 6 in the morning, it's 9 o'clock on the East Coast, so I call, wifey at work, friends, family at work. The day started on the East Coast, and I'm just getting up. So everybody's standing around in the day room. They hungry from the night before, and they waiting to go eat. But then again, you got the fiends that's they hungry too, but they not waiting on the chow hall. They waiting on you. So they be like, man, I was waiting on doors to open. I'm trying to see you, man. Let me get 5 of them papers. So they come see me get 5 of them papers, and they come with a bunch of stamps. So if they come and tell me that they got compound stamps, that means these already cut up in little pieces. All right, well, I see you when I come back from chow. They be like, nah, I got flats. You know what I mean? When they say flats, they mean this, mean the flat book of stamp. So once they tell me they got flats, that's easier because I can take this now that was going for like $7.40 a book. They like $10 a book now. Well, back then, were like $7.40, $6.40, I think, maybe even. But once they say they got flats, I know I could take those, send them to the street, and get dollar for dollar at the post office. I'm just giving y'all a hustle game. That's why I say the game is to be sold, not told. See, we sent out, 100 of these, and we get $6.40 or $7.40, whatever it was in the post office. We get $4 value. That's why I love these. Right now, I got about 1,500 of these books. These is the forever stamps. Show you how my mind works. The forever stamps, the price would never go up. Whatever the price go to, being it says forever, that's what it is. When I brought these, they was like $8 and change. So I already made a $2 profit. So this is like my Bitcoins. You know what I mean? This is how I'm thinking. So I got my little stamps and I'm doing what I got to do. So, you send out 100 books, you already know where you at. So check, right? I sell them their little paper, they go do their thing, and then me and the homies, we go eat, and we go in the kitchen, we take a couple of books with us, and when we take the books is what you use to buy special food. So dudes is in there selling like eggs, turkey, bacon, steak, you know what I mean? Sandwiches and, croissants and bagels and fresh squeezed orange juice. Everybody got a hustle in the kitchen. You got dudes that just sell orange juice. Dudes work at a vegetable joint and fruit joint. They'll sit there, they get a bunch of oranges, they'll squeeze them down. They might take some pears and apples with it and make some fruit juice. And then they sell each joint. You know what I mean? They said each cup, each 8-ounce cup, go for a book of stamp. But even though they cost $6.40, $7.40 on the commissary, they only worth $5 a piece. So you get $5, you get a thing of freshly squeezed orange juice, another 2 books, which is $10. You get a big tray of eggs and, turkey bacon and turkey sausage or beef sausage and steak. And that's how we live. And this is how I start my Friday. Happy Friday to y'all, man. Happy Friday. TGIF, man. So that's where we at. So now I go up in the kitchen. When I go in the kitchen, dudes come and be like, yo, I'm trying to get 2 grams. You know what I mean? So now, I don't want no stamps because I'm going to make enough stamps off the compound. So I tell them straight up, all right, well, here go a Western Union, put that on in the Western Union, and I'm gonna throw you I'm gonna throw you a paper, extra paper of that dog food, to cover the expenses for you sending it, So that's, 1,000 plus, $25, So they go send that. And once the money touch, you go back, you call your people, and they say, yeah, I got that, from such and such. You go back and you give them their little 2 grams, and, you keep it moving, So now we go back and we get ready to go to the yard. So I got my workout equipment because I used to work out, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, 11 months a year. I took off every month, month of Ramadan, to fast, and during that month, I don't work out. I let my body heal from the 11 months of rigorous training, just in case one of the, haters, suckers, or whatever. Now that we on the street, we call them trolls. You know what I mean? So gunshots to the trolls. You always got to be ready because you don't know when you're going to run across one. And when you run across one, you want to make sure you give them a proper universal beat down that they will never forget. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, listen. The reason why I hate the trolls, so you understand, is because I'm from the era where if a dude don't like you, he step in your face and he say, yo, Unique, I don't like the gold chains you wearing. You know what I mean? I don't like the way you so cocky. They tell you in your face. They be like, yo, I think you full of crap. And now I got the option of punching them in the face or putting a knife in them. You understand what I'm saying? But I got an option. But now, with these little keyboard trolls, they never been to prison, never left the porch, never entered into your world, couldn't even lace up your shoes with their feet in them. Must just take a footstep. Place. And that's why I hate them so much. But let me get back to where I'm at. I'm a ride. But, just enjoy this, man. It's a Friday. So now, I get dressed to go out there. You got the homies. We got the little blue handball. I got to get a handball. I like to show y'all the props like I show y'all the stuff. I'm going to get the handball. I'm going to get the chapstick cap and all that. I left it upstairs. I just got one yesterday. I went to 7-Eleven and bought a chapstick so I can show you a chapstick cap so you can really see it while I'm talking. Because each one of those chapstick cap is the scale in the prison. On the street, we got the triple beam. Big shout out to the triple beam. Big shout out. Big shout out to the triple beam. That joint made us millions, But in the jail, we got the chapstick cap. That's our triple beam. So one chapstick cap full, they call that a gram. You understand? So you can even buy weed. One chapstick cap full for $40 in Lompoc. Other prisons, because Lompoc had plenty of drugs, you know what I mean? But other prisons, you might pay $150 for a chapstick cap full of weed. I'm going to tell you all about the weed runnings too. But could you imagine paying $150 for a chapstick cap. That if you was to take that and you roll that right now, that'll be one joint. But in there, they rolled 20 joints out of that. 20 joints and sell each joint, you know what I mean, for like 3 to 5 books of stamps. 3 to 5 books of stamps. You know, really, you get 5 books. So you go 20 times, you know, $25 for each joint. You know, 6 of them make your money back. You know, the other 14 is your profit. You see, I'm already giving you that video before even doing it. You know, yeah, I love y'all, man. That's why I say the game is to be sold, not told. I know y'all never even thought about this. Ain't nobody else come up here and give it to you like this. Remember, I'm the first one to give it to you in intricate detail. You know what I mean? So, you know, Cash App on the screen. If you already sent me money, just go to the Cash App and request, you know, and send it from there, or call the number that's coming up on the screen and, you know, let me know your Cash App and I'll request it from you, because they duplicated my account. So for you new people, be careful sending me money so you get it to the right one. You know, Cash App dragging ass to fix it. But anyway, so now, you know, we go to the yard, dudes playing handball, dudes playing basketball. But you know me, first thing I do when I go to the yard, I meet up with the other homies that's in other units, and I got my worker with me, and my worker, he goes and, you know, he collects all the stamps. He collects all the stamps from everybody from what they hustled the night before. So a dude might say, yo, I got 200 books. You know, I'll be like, yo, give it to Bob. You know what I mean? Another dude might be, I got 100 books. I got 300 books, da-da-da. They give it to him, and, you know, he writes it, you know, Bob writes it down. We go in, and now I got 2,000 books from the night before hustling. You know what I mean? And don't forget, I just sold 2 grams for $1,000. So I woke up and already made about 4,000 or 5,000, and it ain't even breakfast time yet. You know, this is in the prison, man. So I mean, I know this is hard for you suckers and trolls and flip-flop win in public triggers. Because I'm going to respect Brother Muhammad 3X. He don't want me to use the N-word. You fake flip-flop wearing in public triggers. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing wrong with flip-flops. They say that. I'm wearing my flip-flops now. You know what I mean? I'm wearing my flip-flops now. But I'm wearing them, you know, in the day room. You know? I mean, in my cell. You know? I'm not in the day room. I'm not in the yard with the flip-flops. That's why I hate them type of dudes. If you got flip-flops all in the day room or in the yard or in public, which is your yard, because you're free, so-called. If you got them on out there and something happened and somebody swing on you or even swing on me or your man with you, you can't help your man. You can't help yourself, so you can't help me, so that means you expendable. That means I don't need you. So get out of Dodge with those flip-flops in public. Wait a minute, in your backyard, man. You know what I mean? Or when you go to the beach. But anyway, so, you know, I'm in the yard and, you know, I'm doing my little pull-ups. You know, I'm doing my dips. You know what I mean? You know, I'm doing my push-ups. I'm getting my man in. I'm doing my leg raises and my kickbacks. I'm going to do a video showing you how my whole workout look. You see, I'm getting my weight back and all that. You know what I mean? My prostate, and I had, I forgot what they called it. It was something with my stomach, you know, from all the years of prison food that ate me up. I came home 220, went down to like 150. You know what I mean? From transforming from prison food to, you know, to free world food. You know, and then I had the trolls say, he get high, he got this, he got that. To you fake ass trolls. But I got my joint back, and I'm gonna catch one of y'all on the street. And I always got my camera rolling, so then you'll get to see how I really perform. You know what I mean? How I turn it over. You know what I mean? I'm gonna catch one of y'all, because Allah is good. Allah is great. You know what I mean? So you can do all this tough talking on here, but you know, we're gonna see what you really made of, you know. But anyway, let me ride back. So I'm in the yard, I'm doing my workout. Dude come say, yo, I need 2 grams. I give him a little Western Union address for whoever I'm sending the money to that day. So once I give him that little Western Union address, he take that, he go back and he go see his people. And he calls on the phone, he say, hey, send $1,500 or $1,000 or 2,000, to this address. They don't say they buying 4 grams for 2,000. They say, yo, send my uncle, on my baby mama such and such, 2 grand to help with the rent, because you got that administration that's listening on the other phone trying to see who's sending money where. I got to do a whole video on that, how the administration, how they track us like federal bloodhounds. You know what I mean? Y'all want to know how they track us like federal bloodhounds through the technology? That's probably how I came home and wound up doing so good on this YouTube, because they was tracking me so bad. You remember that movie Fugitive with Wesley Snipes and that other white dude where he tracking him and he like checking me down, outhouse, brown house, dog house, shit house, screw house, you know what I mean? And turn over every rock until you find them. That's what the administration do, but they do it with the technology of the telephone. We didn't have the computers then. So they listen to all the phones and they know how to look for what number is on Unique's list and who else is calling that number. If you want that video, how the technicality is broken down and they track me, because I had to learn all this to avoid it. And you know what I mean? Big shout out to me, not tooting my own horn, but giving me my props because I'm an old cocky trigger from Harlem. Let's go. They never, you get gunshots to them for trying, but they never busted me hustling in the joint. They did. Let me keep it 100, because Unique keeps it 100. Back in 95, they grabbed a chick coming in and got a couple of balloons, you know what I mean, and took my visits for a year. We had to go see it. My homies on the pound had to go see a homosexual named Jazz that was, can't say that, excuse me. He Cypher, Monkey Cypher, that named Jazz, that, was, lovers with the unit manager, and he had to give him, 20, 30 cartons of cigarettes, because that's before the stamps came into play, in order to get my bail to get me out of jail, If you want to know what happened with that, well, put that in the comment too. I want to stay on Lompoc. I like to ride. This is how we ride. So I had to pay bail in jail to get out of getting, busted in the visiting hall for attempted bringing balloons of weed in. But mind you, that story's crazy. Could you imagine? I never even made it to the visiting hall, and I got charged with introduction in the visiting hall. I never made it to the visit, and they charged me with introduction to the visiting hall. I'm going to tell you about that if you want to know about it. I already got a shot for it. He got sanctioned. I'll tell you all about that later. But, that's just that. So, I'm just riding, giving it to you how this works when you talk about hustling in the joint. That's why I tell you youngins, don't go to the joint, man. Don't come off the porch. Don't get involved in it, because I was so screwed up. Even after that, I continued doing what I'm doing. They done took the girl off my list forever, where I could never see her again in physical person, and I'm doing life plus 20. But here I go, got her gambling, never seeing her again, to bring me some weed. Come on, gunshots to the SIS that busted me and did that fake crap, But then now, so let's get back to Lompoc. We back in Lompoc. All right, sit back and enjoy the ride. So now we in Lompoc. I'm doing my workout. Dudes come. I might have sold 10 grams. You know what I mean? At the first wreck move. Everybody's at work. On the compound. They had 2 unicorns out there. I'm gonna tell y'all about Unique. If y'all wanna know what Unicore is and how Unicore run out there, Unicore is the factory, the prison factory where you get paid the most money on the compound. You can get as much as $1 an hour. $1 an hour, big money, y'all, in the prison. But, I refused to do it. I wound up going in there just because all the money was in there, because everybody in there that was working was, getting those big checks. I wanted to be next to the bag. So I got a job in there so that if they wanted to get high during the day, they could just come right over and spend their little money, or they could just shoot their money on the books, and I'm there for the first of the month. As soon as they get paid, I'm already in the mix. So that means I'm selling mine. So first wreck move, I done sold like 10 grams at $500 a piece. So now I done made 5,000 in. I done picked up about 2,000 books of stamps. So, that's another, 2 grand. So I made about easy 7 grand. And this is just the first rec mode. It's not even 8 o'clock in the morning yet. And I'm picking up 8 grand. 7, 8 grand. So now I'm doing my thing. And the administration, when I'm walking in, I didn't wear the jewels and all that in the jail. I used to wear the beaded chain with the red, gold, and green or something like that, or a 5% flag on it, and just blend it in and look like everybody else. So SIS used to be watching me, and they watching me, and I'm watching them. We two bloodhounds. I think I told you, let me ride. Back in '88, I'm in AJ Lester, and like I said, I go in the joint of the back, the hairs on the back of my neck start sticking up, like how you see your dog's hair on the back of his or her neck start sticking up when like a squirrel go by, or they sense danger. You see that little mane stick up. That's how my mane was acting up. This is my son calling me, check on my grandson. Graduation. Yo, what up?
Yo.
What up? Yo.
You saw the house?
Yeah, I'm going to baby boy joint. I'm knocking the video out. You on the live video, so don't say nothing stupid. You know what I mean?
Let's say it.
You know?
I'm about to be there in a minute. I'll pull up the house.
Well, you got the keys. Just come on in and let me finish doing what I'm doing, because I'm riding right now.
All right, do your thing, Crypt Keeper.
All right? All right, love you, man. Yeah. So, that's, my son coming, because we going to the graduation together for baby boy. Big shout out to Nene and Joseph for raising a wonderful grandson for me. All right? So, now, you see I do answer my calls. That number I put up on the screen, 917-680-9091, I answer that myself. You know what I mean? Cash App connected, don't forget y'all. But I do answer that myself, because, my time is valuable in the game to be sold, not told. Let's ride back into this joint. So now I'm in the yard. I done made 7 grand. Now it's time to get 2,000 books of stamps in and to go in the unit, and prepare these, 10 grams, for what they call distribution on the compound, So I go in and, you can't let your peoples know too much. You can't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. So I can't let them know who I got holding the stash, where I'm at, cutting up the stash, because we're dealing with wolves. And they'll try you too. I got a story where, if y'all want, I'll tell it to you, about how, the Border Brothers punished one of their own, because he took too long to get them they fix so they could get high, but yet he in the cell getting high. And got everybody out there waiting on him while he getting high. You know what I mean? Because it don't matter who you are, man. Everybody fair game in the joint. And any fake suckers and trolls and flip-flop wears in public, you know what I mean? Got any dispute with anything I'm saying, let me get in the camera. I'm gonna give you a gunshot first. Listen, I'm telling you this now. Challenge anything I say, you fake suckers, trolls, and flip-flop wears in public. Challenge it. That's how official this channel is. That's why I labeled it a gangster channel. I kept it 100 my whole life. Everybody that know me would tell you. Matter of fact, be on the lookout for my man Farris. Farris, Lou Sims' co-defendant. Big shout out to Lou Sims and Farris in the lynch mob. Big shout out to them. Big shout out to them. Official gangsters. Official 100 gangsters. See, we cut from the same cloth. You understand what I'm saying? We men of honor, Farris called me yesterday when I was in Home Depot to tell me, yo, be on standby. I'm getting ready to do my, work on my documentary. I got my office ready. I'm ready to do me, and you're a big part from the very beginning, so I want you in there. You know what I mean? So, of course, I told Farris, whatever you want, my brother, because I know he there for me. Same thing with Lou. I already started working on Lou Sims documentary with him. I mean, just straight gangsters. And let me saying gangsters, let's not forget, Gangster Lou. Let me get up close. Let me get up close. Gangster Lou gets 21 gun salute. That's one of the most official brothers that I ever ran across. If y'all don't know who Gangster Lou is, Google on your YouTube or wherever you do the Googling, Google Gangster Lou. That's what you do. You ain't gonna find a more official, rugged brother than Gangster Lou. Gangster Lou ain't changed from I went into prison and came out of prison. Gangster Lou still Teflon. Still Teflon. You know what I mean? Man, that's my heart. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I'm talking about. But anyway, let me get back. Farris called me and said they get ready to do their thing. So, we laughed, joked about it a little bit. Because Farris always ride me. But Farris gives me great, Farris, if y'all want to know about Farris, put it in the comments. And I got to show it to Farris to see if Farris is, okay with me telling the story about how me and him met up in Otisville. I got to check with the homies first because I don't just put stuff out there chasing views because like I told Queen's Flip, I am the views. You know what I mean? I come up here, tell my stories out my head about my life and get the views. I don't need to make up stories about nothing, make up stories about nobody, or even tell stories about nobody without their approval. So every story I tell, I got my approval. Because I know at one time they was on here saying dudes doing the prison stories with ratting. Nah, my nigga, this is all facts. We did time for it. We put our work in. Anything I tell about administration already know about. So you fake ass trolls. You know what I mean? Find somewhere else to go lay your eggs. Because you ain't nothing but a female hen. But now, let me ride back to Lompoc. I got to speed this up because like I said, I got baby boys joined today. So I done sold, $7,000 worth of drugs in the prison. You understand what I'm saying? And this is just the first move, So by the time I go in there, I go package everything up and I give it to the homies and I say, yo, take this to such a yard. Here's 10 books. Drop these 2 grams off to this dude. They go another 10 books. I give it to somebody else. Take this 2 grams to this dude. And you know what I mean? I tell another dude, go pick up this, dude got 300 books, keep 20 out of that. You understand what I'm saying? And bring me back to 280. And I got everybody sticking and moving around and doing what they got to do. And the whole time I'm laying in the cell just smoking my weed, chilling with my man Kaz, a.k.a. Casper from the Rolling 60. That's my heart. Man, he gave you, listen, you think I'm giving you game. My man, I'm going to try and get Kaz up here. But, me and Kaz used to chop it up in there, man, and we just spit game about life in general. He all the way from the West Coast. I'm all the way from the East Coast. 2 different worlds with a big-ass land and pond and everything around us and between us and the whole nine. But, he cut from that cloth, too. You know what I mean? Just so you understand, it ain't just New York. You know what I mean? I don't do that. You got men from everywhere. I'm getting ready to do my man, just so you see how official I am, let me show you my man. Hold up real quick. So y'all go sign my man petition, Jimmy Fingers. Let me get this up here. All you got to do is text text somebody freejimmyfingers.com. All in one word like a website, freejimmyfingers.com. You know what I mean? That's my man Jimmy Fingers, official brother. Doing 6 life sentences in 300 years. Or 9, he started off with 9 life sentences and now he's down to 6 life sentences, still got the 300 years. And he's working it down. Been in since he was 19. Look at him, straight gangster. You know what I mean? That's Jimmy Fingers. Please go sign my man's petition. Please, I'm asking you, please, text a friend to text a friend to text a friend, all in one word, freejimmyfingers.com. And when you send that, his change.org petition that I set up for my brother is going to pop up, and you just sign the petition and tell your friends to sign it so I get my brother home. You know what I mean? But, these are the type of friends that call me. John Cuff called me the other day. Y'all know who John Cuff is from the Preacher Crew? Just to let you know how official I am. Me and John Cuff was chopping it up the other day. I still get game from these other brothers in the joint, Booby from the Booby Boys. You know what I mean? You know Miami. Y'all know the big round shout out to John Cuff, Jimmy Fingers. You know, yeah. What I just say, John Cuff. You know what I'm saying? Black from Detroit. You know what I mean? Oh yeah, and I got Flex. You know, from Best Friends. Flex from Best Friends, you know, out of Detroit. If y'all in Detroit, y'all know about Best Friends. You know what I mean? When they came down the street, you know, they get off the block. That was the real Debo. Well, Flex called me the other day. I'm getting ready to get a live, you know, interview with these brothers. Round of applause to them. Round of applause to them. You know? But these are my friends. You know what I mean? These are my friends. You know what I mean? And they all allegedly charged with multiple murders, but, you know, they're my comrades. They're my friends. I had somebody ask me, how could you call someone that killed multiple people a friend? You understand what I'm saying? And I asked them, how could you call a sucker, somebody that steal from you, that rob you, that lie on you, that gossip on you, your friend? You know? Because you take the good with the bad. You know what I mean? You take the good with the bad. But anyway, that's my man Jimmy Fingers. I'm going to leave him up right now. So y'all remember freejimmyfingers.com, man. That's my brother. And big welcome home to Michael Not Palmer. If y'all don't know who that is, Michael Not Palmer is the one that started, you know, the working 50s down there in the D.C. area. Because I might even bring you that. Maybe not come up here and tell you, or maybe not give me permission to tell it. Like I said, I don't tell nothing without permission. That's how official I am. Because all my joints is connected to everybody, and I'm connected to them too. You know, everybody's on the speed dial. But Michael Not Palmer, let me tell you who that is. Michael Not Palmer went down to D.C. We were selling, you know, I like my props. We were selling crack out of an ounce bag. You know, when somebody come with a dip in the bag and would take out a piece and dude pull up and say he wanted $50 worth, and you'll break off a rock that look like what you call $50, but you try and keep it looking like it's only gonna cost you $20. And you know, the fiend thirsty, so they see this what they call boulder in their face, which ain't no but $25 worth, and you tell them here's a $50 worth. You know what I mean? And then they'd be like, nah, that's a little small. Let me get one bigger. You know, so my man, Michael Not Palmer, you know, he went down there and he just started cutting everything up in 50 blocks and had them all one size, like how you got a cube, you know, just like how you got a sugar cube. You know, that's how he cut up the working 50s. And, you know, he did what he... I might bring Not up here. Big shout out to Michael Not Palmer. Big shout out to Mike. Calm down, bro. Calm down. You know? But anyway, let me ride, because my son here, and I got to go to baby boy's graduation, and we're a couple of minutes late, you know? Man, you know, I hate to have to cut it short, because I like riding with y'all, man. But happy Friday. And like I said... You know, first rec move, I made $7,000. And, you know, I employed workers. You know, the same way Walmart employed workers. Yeah, I'm comparing me to Walmart and 7-Eleven and Macy's. I employed workers. Whether he was taking, you know what I mean, 2 grams of heroin to the yard, or he was picking up 200 books of stamps, you know what I mean? He was still employed and he was still working. You know what I mean? For you fake trolls, wannabe gangsters that don't understand that, gunshots to your face. But now, before I go, I want to give a shout out to Grady Milton, you know, Jr., Ron Porter, Michael Jeffrey. These are people that sent the Cash App. Kevin Beaumont, Michael Jeffrey, Michael Ellington. Come on, man. Lonnie Lee. I'm still getting the Cash App. People still respecting the hustle. Bands 3, you know, Fraser R. Bumpers, you know, Bear 1, you know, Cecil. Come on, man. Scotty Gilbert, Miguel Trujillo, that's my man. Oh, yeah, and I want to let RJ and Paula Club know I didn't forget you on the original 50 Cent story. I'm just trying to catch up my man, that ran with him, so I can get you. You know, I got some fire coming for you, RJ and Paula Club. Just don't think, you know, I'll be riding. Just let me ride, man. I got you. And I'm going to notify you before I put it up. You know what I mean? So we got, like I said, Grady Milton, Mace Burkhead. You know, I mean, it's whatever. Come on, my man Cash App is it's whatever. You know what I mean? And then Tobias, you know, Edward Milton, Derek Easterday, can't forget him, Marlon Foster, Jamal Mincy, Jedrick, you know. You know, this how we do, man. Like I said, Tariq Ali, Tuwama, what's that? Tony Wood, you know, Trayvon B, you know, Lonnie Les, and Armin Baba Main. You know what I mean? These are people that respect the game, that the game is to be sold, not told. So you fake trolls, go somewhere else with that crap. To your face. Now let me tap out, go to Baby Boy's joint. Enjoy your day, y'all. Know that it's all love over here. Make a audio, and that this is a straight gangsters channel, and I'm penitentiary rich, baby.
Cheers, cheers, toast the crime, toast the crime, the crime, the crime, the crime.
Fresh out the can of 26, yeah. He back on the strip, getting back in the mix. Yeah. What he mentions a gift. Bruh. You stand up 10 toes down, and I suggest you pay attention to this. Real. Take a little gully posse and put it in Harlem. He cut from the bottom, came up from the bottom. Drop the book, you should go and get it. The Instagram page and the YouTube, you could go and visit. Yeah. Then you could consider yourself LinkedIn. Real. Sit front row and get Jews from a kingpin. How he went through it, so you ain't gotta go do it. To not pay attention would be stupid. Talking about a man that probably put your grandfather on. Probably the reason that him and your grams got along. A man that generated millions on the block, did his time, never squilling to the cops, make an audio. Get it live like 2 G's in the 90s. Drop top beamer so shiny. I let shorty go, she was whining. Treat her like my past, she behind me. Spend a couple bands on the Dapper Dan. You be back again, getting green like a Packers fan. No cap, it's a roaring uptown. They be whoring uptown, Dominican bust downs. Now we on the positive, you got a lot to give. Now you trying to stop the kids from being inoperative. So take heed, homie, lend a ear. He started in uptown, he gon' finish dead. But now it ain't about selling drugs, buying cars. It's about buying property to make the community yours. So we can give back to the youth them. Cause they the truth them. And bless up to all the road men.